Hello and welcome to my guide on Void Rifts build order. So the first Void Rifts come at 220, which means that you should change your build order to deal with the early pressure. However, some people they're used to their usual build orders and they don't know what to do instead. So I'm gonna explain what each commander should do for Void Rifts in the early game to deal with the first rifts and maybe survive until they get their hero out. For these build orders, you will keep building workers unless specified, and then after the 220 rifts spawn, you will continue building workers. You will have 3 workers on gas unless I specify otherwise. If the expo is contested, such as on Vermilion Problem, then you just stay back. The disclaimer is that these are the openings that I currently use for Void Rift mutations. They might change as I learn more, and other players may have better build orders than these. They have worked for me so far. Hopefully they'll be helpful for you too. For Raynor, P1 is good against Void Rifts because the double HP allows you to survive early attacks from like Zealots and other units. So for this one, you build a barracks at 12, then a depot. 12 barracks means you do not build any SCVs at the start. First thing you build is a barracks. Then you non-stop make Marines and SCVs, and then at 19 you get a gas, 22 is a depot, and then 26 you get a bunker, so you can hold off. You want to move out at around 150 to 2 minutes, and at 220, 7 to 8 Marines will kill 1 rift. Before 220, you'll probably be hitting like the rocks or something. You can kill 1 rift and then return home to defend, and you have like 1 or 2 SCVs repairing the bunker. For P3, you make an orbital command at 14, and then you build a CC near the choke as part of the wall. Then you build a 15 racks at the other choke, if there's another one, as part of the wall as well. So you want to leave 3 spaces, enough to put a bunker. And then you make a depot. Depot can be at home. At around 210, you build a bunker at each choke and you slowly add Marines in each bunker. The plan here is just to survive until Dust Wings come out at 4 minutes, and then you use those to kill the 2 rifts. So 3 in one direction, 2 in another, and then, yeah. For Kerrigan, P0 or P2, you get 14 Overlord, 14 Pool, then 15 gas, just 2 workers. Stop drone production at 15 supply, then make an Overlord. Then you make all lings. At 2 minutes, you make 1 spine and the second gas. And then at 220, hopefully your 8 lings are close enough to kill 1 rift. If you're not close enough, that's a problem. After that, you can make 2 to 3 more spines to defend. This method is risky because it's high risk, high reward, because if you can kill 1 rift, then you reduce a lot of the pressure and you get to break your rocks. However, if both rifts are kind of like in defended territory, then you're in trouble. So a safer method is to use this one, which is just the plan is to survive. So instead of making lings, you just slowly build up to 6 to 7 spines. With 6 to 7 spines, you can uproot the hurt ones and keep them alive, and you'll be able to survive the onslaught. And when Kerrigan goes out, she'll clear the 4 rifts. For Artanis, P0 or P3, you make 15 gate, 16 gas, then another gate, and then a pylon and then a cyber. So for the first rifts, you'll use 3 zealots on 1 rift and orbital strike on another. If you're using P3, which is not recommended because you might not be in position, you can use 2 UFs Unbound Fanatics for each rift and 1 extra to like clear some enemies in a small encampment nearby or damage the rocks. For Swann, you actually use the normal build order. You don't want to use P3 for Void Rift mutations. You build 14 depot, 2 SCVs on it, 16 factory, 2 SCVs, then 17 gas, 3 SCVs. After the factory is done, build an armory with 2 SCVs, and then you fly your factory out so that you can spot the first rifts. Build 2 to 3 static defense buildings, 1 a Flaming Betty or 2, and then 1 Blaster Billy. When 245 is up, the drill will be ready, and then you kill 1 rift, and then you make an eBay and get the repair upgrade. Also, at 245, you should have enough minerals and gas for the first upgrade as soon as possible. For Zagara P3, you get 9 gas, 11 pool, then you get a drone gas overlord in that order. Then as soon as the pool is done, you make a baneling nest. Then stop drone production when you make the baneling nest, and you make 9 lings and you go towards the rocks, then you make 9 more lings in another direction. If the rifts are far, you bring your units back to defend and build 2 spines. Just like Kerrigan, you can just build spines and not make so many lings. You don't want to spend too many banelings on the 3 units that Amon has. For Vorazun, it's best versus Terran. You're basically using Dark Pylon Mastery. You use 13 Dark Pylon covering the Nexus and both gases, so you make like a semicircle. And then you use your buildings to complete the wall. So you get your gateway, your pylon, and cyber core, forge, and another pylon just to block. That way when the 220 waves come, the enemies can't actually touch you because they can't see anything. At 3 minutes, you'll summon Shadow Guard at the natural. Before that, you probably should have moved 1 probe there because the enemies won't attack your... They go for your buildings, not your units. Summon Shadow Guards, and then you kill the rifts. If there are Shadow Guards near the rocks, you go back and break the rocks. Then you build a Dark Pylon and then Twilight Dark Shrine and make a second wall at your natural. You can put a cannon in the main to pick off the enemies waiting so that there won't be too many of them there. For Karax P3, you start with Pylon Forge, Gas, and then Pylon Natural, 1 cannon for defense. And then at 150, you send 2 probes out in 2 directions, and then you snipe the rifts at 220. Hopefully you're close. With P3, you get Unity Barrier, so you can kind of like sacrifice a probe to hit a rift if necessary. Build Gateway afterwards and get Energy Upgrade at 100 gas. For P2, which is doable but not recommended, you can do something similar. You'll snipe the rifts with probes just like before, and instead of using cannons to defend, you'll use sentinels and aim for Robotech to get observers in far locations. For Abathur, you do the normal toxic nest luring. You send a drone out right away and then build a roach warren, build a drone to replace it. Then the first drone goes to the spot where you're going to lure, build a spore and a roach. Then when you're at 1414, you build an overlord and you do your luring stuff. So same deal. You should get a Brutalisk by like 2 minutes if done right. Alarak P3, you use 12 gas, which means the first thing you do is build both gases, then build a pylon, then another pylon at rocks, and at 19 supply, you don't build any more. At 220, you can move a probe out to get closer to the rifts so that your mothership can spawn right on top of them. For Nova P1, you are doing a build similar to Alarak. You just get gases immediately. Then at 50 gas, you build your barracks. At 100 gas, you build a starport. These can be at your choke to kind of stall and take some hits if necessary. At 15 supply, you stop SCV production. That way you have just enough minerals at 2 minutes 35 to drop Marines on a rift. If you want, you can send an SCV out just like the other commanders at around 150, so you can drop right on top of the rift. You'll probably kill 1 rift, and then if the other rift is nearby, you can use a defense drone and kill the other one. If not, you go home and just defend and then get Banshee Cloak as soon as possible. For P3, you get a better economy than P1, but you get fewer Banshees later on. So you get 14 gas, 15 barracks, then stop SCV production at 18 supply. When the barracks is done, the SCV goes out. This will be around 150. And then at 225, you can drop Marines on 1 rift. Same thing as the other one. Get a factory and get Hellions or Hellbats to help the Marines defend. Then starport. For Stukov P1, you can get 15 Overlord, 15 barracks, 18 gas, then stop SCV production. As soon as the racks is done, you should have about 400 to build a bunker. And that bunker will help you survive. The big waves don't spawn until 250, which means that at 3 minutes, you have infest structure to help you defend. At around 250, you get your starport or factory, depending on what you want. And your plan is to just survive until you have enough Banshees or Diamondbacks. And then Apocalypse at 4 minutes can help clear a rift or 2. If you want, you can also try this one where you go for a fast Diamondback. You get 13 gas, 15 Overlord. And then you put a factory near the choke. So the factory is going to get hit by the trickles. And then at around 2 minutes 45, you get a Diamondback and you infest structure at 3 minutes. The plan is the same thing, except that you have more Diamondbacks. And if you're close enough, if a rift is close to your choke, you can actually kill one of them before 4 minutes. For Fenix P0, you need 20 on Chrono, a 10 supply for Mastery. And then you get Pylon, Gate, Gas, Robo. Then you stop pro production at 18 supply, get Caudalis and Legionnaire, Chrono the upgrade so that you get Caudalis right on time. Caudalis will arrive at around 2 minutes 20, and then get Immortal and Tal'Darim when done, and you get a Robo Bay later. For P2, you do something similar, except that since Caudalis costs less, you can get a Twilight and Cyber sooner, and you get more champions sooner. I like using P2 more, but P0 is better at controlling rifts since you can build Legionnaires around the map to kill any rifts that spawn nearby, whereas P2 Legionnaires are weak. For Dehaka P3, you start with 19 gas, 21 warden at rocks, then the brothers will go farming. This is hard for some people to macro and micro, so keep that in mind. Then when you have 100 gas, you get Glevik's Den. You can build 2 lings to break the rocks, 1 or 2, up to you, and then uproot the warden. You have 2 wardens, so you uproot the wardens and move forward to help with rift clearing. At 220, the brothers will kill 1 nearby rift, and then the wardens will go towards the other one or defend at home, and then deep tunnel back to the wardens to prevent them from dying, and then make your way to the other rift. So you eat and slap your way to the other rift and then kill it. For P2, you do the same thing, except that your wardens go in different directions. Since you need Dehaka plus the warden, since you don't have Dehaka, you do the same thing, except you might actually lose. You might lose one of the wardens. You can also make lings for assistance. For Han Horner, you get 13 supply, 15 galleons sent in one direction, 16 galleons sent in another direction, then gas. Don't build gas that early since you want to maintain your SCV production. 1 galleon will build Hellions or Reapers, and the other one builds nothing. Then at 220, 1 galleon and the Hellions will kill 1 rift. Preferably the one that's closer to the rocks will have Hellions. The other one, the galleon, will fly over and use mag mines. For P1, you just need 2 sets placed right on top of the rifts. If you're P2, you need 3 because the units will spawn while the mag mines are being armed, and you might lose some of the mines. If the rifts are far, you run bat and defend, and hopefully they're not. 250, you should get Armory, and it's very important to get the Fusion Core by 6 minutes and Fire Upgrade by 7:10, and keep building Strike Fighter platforms. Don't get any of the eBay upgrades until later. For Tychus, you can start with CC first. It seems strange, but you can actually build CC at the rocks and then 18 gas. You build the Gunslinger's hideout near the ramp, and that will take some hits. And then when Tychus spawns at 3 minutes, remember that before 3 minutes, it's just the small enemies like Zealot, Marines, or Zerglings. The big waves spawn at 250, which they'll take some time to get over. So you build Tychus and you move him out so that when Sirius comes out, Tychus doesn't lose his Lone Wolf buff. Sirius stays back, defends the main, while Tychus goes out and clears the rifts. If you have cleared all the enemies, Tychus can clear one of the rifts and Sirius can go after the other. If you want, you can also build an eBay defense. You build your eBay at 16 near the bar, and you want to place it so that there's a 1 space gap, so that only Zerglings, like 1 Zergling, can attack your auto turret at a time. You get gas, then 2 auto turrets, and then your Gunslinger's hideout will also be part of the wall, and then SCVs will repair until Tychus comes out. For Zeratul, there are several options you can use. The Legion option is a huge gamble because if the rifts don't spawn together, then you're in trouble. But if it works, it's very good. So for solos where you can just like retry, this is a good one, which is my favorite. Use the Legion cost mastery so that you don't have to spend 800. You stop pro production at 16 supply, you make 1 ambusher. When you have 560 minerals, it should be around 220, and you use the Void Ray Legion and kill 1 rift. You can use probes to spot, just like before. At 150, you send 2 probes out, 1 in each direction. You get a second ambusher for defense, and you can kite the enemies that come. Eventually, you'll have 3 ambushers and a shield guard before Zeratul comes out, and he'll take care of the 3 minute 50 rifts. If you want to make ambushers, it's more reliable, but I don't like this opening because it requires really good micro. So you stop probe production at 15, then you make 3 to 4 ambushers and then a cyber core, and you like push towards the rifts and kill the enemies along the way. Alternatively, your 3 to 4 ambushers can just like defend the base while you wait for Zeratul to come out, and he'll take care of the rifts. P2, if you want to use cannons, it can be P0, but P2 cannons are great. So you make 12 gate, then the cyber core when that's done. Send probe out, summon a legion, and then you make 2 shield guards and mass cannons. You want to have 2 cannons and 3 shield guards before 4 minutes so that they can hold the trickles while Zeratul kills the second set of rifts. For Stetmann, you can make a 14 overlord, 14 gas, and then a drone. So you replace the one that builds the gas, then 2 on gas when done. Then make a pool and another overlord, and then at 19 you just make all lings. You can make 1 to 2 spines if necessary. Just like with Kerrigan, lings will surround one of the closer rifts, and then you go back home to defend. Having green zone means that you can actually survive longer, and if the other rifts is close by, you can actually kill both. For Mengsk, you can do CC first, where you use your top bar bunker at the rocks and you break the rocks, then you build a CC at natural, and then you resume SCV production. You build gas at 23, triple build it, and then you build a supply bunker at the choke. You don't want to use the mandate one. At 220, you want to drop 1 bunker at a nearby rift, kill it, and then return home to defend. You can also like send the SCVs or turn them into troopers and send out like a huge force to kill both rifts, but that weakens your economy. If you wish to bomb the rifts, your first top bar bunker turn those guys into SCVs, then you build both gases, build a supply bunker at the choke, and then build an eBay. Then at 130, you get the drop pod upgrade. And then you continue teching up to the Imperial Witness. The plan is to suicide 2 to 3 troopers to kill the far rifts while you defend at home. You don't want to send troopers at around 250 because that's when the big wave will spawn. So you kind of wait. If you can do it before or after that, that's fine, but don't send it around 250. And that's it for build orders. So this was kind of long. You just need to, you can pause and just like copy down whichever commanders you want to use and use those build orders and try them out. Good luck, everyone.